The Bhiwani city of Haryana, located 128 kilometers west of national capital New Delhi, which once had 12 gates.
सबसे पहले हलवास गेट जो उसी का नाम रखा क्योंकि हलवास गांव था। उसके बाद पतराम गेट रखा क्योंकि पतराम जो था नंदराम कटले वालों का लड़का था, नंदराम का उसकी जायदाद थी, उसके नाम से रखा। तीसरा फिर हनुमान गेट रखा। चौथा जो है वो बेरी गेट रखा। हमारा आना जाना बेरी गेट से था। और उसके बाद फिर कैमड़ा गेट हुआ और कैमड़े वहाँ दरखत थे और कैमड़े के बाद में रोहतक गेट आया और रोहतक गेट के बाद महम गेट आया और महम गेट के बाद तिकड़ाना गेट आया और तिकड़ाना गेट के बाद हाँसी गेट आया। फिर वहाँ पर बापोड़ा गेट आया और फिर दीनोद गेट आया।
Once known as Choti Kashi for its numerous temples, ponds and Havelis, it is a city with a long history and tradition built as it was founded by Jadu Rajput Naim Singh on February 26, 1376. The traditional name was Bhani, changed into Bhiwani and over the time evolved into Bhiwani. It came into significant existence when it was declared the 11th district of Haryana on 22nd December 1972. However, it has a long history and till the end of 18th century, it was a rather forgotten village of Dadri Pargana under the control of Nawab of Jhajjar. It was recognized as a town when it was declared as a site for Mandi, a free wholesale market by British rulers in 1817, where anyone can come and sell their products. Thus, many castes and communities like Baniya Sahukar, Kumar, Sunar, Nai, Brahmins, etc., members of both Hindu and Muslim faiths started moving to this place to explore and develop larger work avenues here. As the wheel of time moved, the Bhiwani city developed significantly. Temples, ponds and Havelis were built.
And these Havelis are not necessarily great monuments of architecture. Some of them are extremely attractive. But the people who planned them, who conceived them, wanted them to look as attractive as possible, because they were the surrounding in which they were living. And therefore they called in people who decorated them, refurbished them, created an ambience in which they felt happy and comfortable.
Construction of these Havelis and temples opened broader work avenues to Muslim Chejaras, masons who were painters too, and the Hindu Kumars, members of the potter caste who became masons. These painters were mostly gifted and self-taught. For the finest work, teams of professional painters were called in from the western zone of Rajasthan, as the town shared border with Rajasthan. Thus began the tradition of wall paintings. These wall paintings, done inside and outside walls, were to beautify and to further enhance the ambience of architecture, as well as to depict the growing prosperity of its settlers. The surface for these paintings was chuna, lime, plastered base with smooth finish. The pigments were used to execute these beautiful paintings. Until the mid-19th century, the paints were mineral or vegetable pigments. As the pigments are mixed with lime water or lime milk or oil and applied to a dry plaster. Although somewhere floral patterns are traced on wet plaster too. Most of the paintings were done freehand, but forms were repeated with dotted stencils. Outlines, arcs and straight lines were added by string. Ochres dominated in paintings along with red, cinnabar, indigo, lapis lazuli. Vivid Indian yellow were also used in the same quantum. The paintings on the exteriors of buildings offered interesting floral patterns, trees, scenes of cattle herding by Krishna on riverbank or in the streets as a child. Love kush, women playing shringa, found depiction in them. Warrior with mace moving towards another warrior standing with bow. Bhagirath can be seen requesting goddess Ganga with folded hands to come on earth. Life-size portraits of soldiers in uniforms of 3 different eras have also painted. Lord Hanuman carrying mountain followed by Lord Rama in the same posture with stretched bow, painted in realistic style. Another similar realistic depiction includes Indian wrestler, man beneath an umbrella, camel rider, elephant rider, horse rider, etc. Rare portraits of Marquis of Salisbury, Queen Alexandra, King Edward VII painted in single black color on top front of door at one Haveli. Under the projecting eaves of the main door, out of 20 paintings, 2 semi-nude feminine forms are painted and repeated in mirror images too. These 4 paintings stand witness to the British influence. Paintings on the ceiling of one small Haveli show the scenes from the tales of Lord Krishna killing Kansa, Putna, Keshi, Vatsasura, Kuvalyapitam. These scenes are followed by the scene of coronation of King Ugrasen, in which Vasudevji, Nandji, Lord Krishna with Balaram one side and Divanji with one bodyguards and another seems to be junior of Divan on the other side are shown. Krishna and Balaram are shown in a friendly mood, whereas the rest of the figures are expressionless. All the figures have both side and front face drawing. Perfectly drawn front perspective of couch of King Ugrasen can be seen. All the figures of Darbaris are in Mughal attire, whereas King Ugrasen and Krishna Balaram are in Brij attire. All are shown barefooted. Perhaps the artist has pious concern with the scene. The central part of the rectangular ceiling has been painted with geometrical pattern held by 4 fairies. Small freehand sleek leaf and flower floral patterns with a tentatively sitting bird have been added in the center, perhaps to add beauty, life and fill space. Text in Hindi and local dialect is written alongside the visuals to describe the scene or name of the character painted. A very rare kind of very small temple has also been constructed in a corner and middle of wall of this Haveli, which is unusual because of its placement. The colors are ochre, indigo as primary and green as secondary.
We have a mural tradition in India, of course. We all know that. But that mural tradition had more or less disappeared. But traces of those murals still survive, and in the 19th century, there was a practice on the part of people who were well-to-do, people of means, to get Havelis painted.
All drawings of paintings show that the painters were not much skilled to draw realistic or aware of parameters of ancient paintings as described in Vishnu Puran. One of Havelis of Bhiwani, Halwasiyon ki Haveli, is the biggest, having a giant-sized main door. Once this gigantic door is closed, the entire Haveli became intact. This Haveli has a wall clock of British era immediately inside the door, studded in one of the balcony of first floor at the main entrance. The balconies are duly decorated with relief floral patterns as well as colored borders. This Haveli comprises two main mansions, many servant rooms and a well to fulfill the daily water needs. The outer wall underneath balconies have been decorated with life sketches of God, goddesses, mythological stories, Sheshanag the snake god, Bhagirath praying Ganga, Lord Shiva singing before Parvati, doves and peacocks with floral patterns. Stone arches inspired from the Rajput palaces are a common sight. Relief work is done on the walls using chuna. Various figures like Sahukar, Goddess Saraswati, leaves wrapped over a mesh are made in relief work. Vrinda and Meera worshipping, along with Goddess Lakshmi, painted in the center of the arch of main door. The appearance of the wall at present depict that these are never whitewashed or repaired or repainted. The colors of these paintings are original shades and are still visible. A symmetrical floral part of plant between the balanced mirror compositions of parrots has been painted on the arch of small platform at the door of one of the Havelis. The parrots are painted in a realistic style. Their beaks are unrealistically black or brown instead of red, or has been turned black or brown by time. The leaves and buds in the floral border beneath are flowery and curvy in red and green. Unusual freehand floral patterns created on the coping with indigo background with centrally located portraits are simply mesmerizing. The extensive quantum of work makes the viewers speechless. A painting of a train with a steam engine and 5 coaches in one of the Havelis at Jan Chowk is spectacular and rare. 2 figures of engine drivers, passengers, and the entire scene is very simply painted. 2 lamps, perhaps kerosene ones, are placed in front of engine to show further track. The electric pole can also be seen on the side of the rail track, standing witness to the advent of electricity. Some rich as well as common people are shown sitting in coaches. The second last coach seems to be a goods coach. The subject taken from beginning of a new transportation shows that the painters had freedom to choose. Ironically, this Haveli has been demolished.
I have sadly not been to the place, but I've seen excellent reproductions. What's I? Wall after wall has been demolished. Panel after panel has either been defaced or has become discolored over time. But still, something beckons you, something draws you to itself, because it tells you not only of the images on the walls, but of people who commissioned them, enjoyed them, lived around, surrounded by them, and so on.
There is an area in this city owned by Seth Nandaram, popularly known as Nandaram Ka Katla. Apart from his Haveli, 3 memorials of Seth Nandaram, his wife Kalavati, are constructed side by side. In the center front of these, a 3rd memorial, probably of his father, since it is a little larger than these 2, has been constructed.
ये जो एरिया आप यहाँ देख रहे हैं, जैसा हम सुनते आए हैं, शहर से काफ़ी बाहर था ये एरिया। जो बुज़ुर्ग थे, जैसे नंदराम जी थे, उनके भाई सेवाराम जी थे, हमारे जो दादाजी शुरू में भिवानी आए थे, श्री मोहनदास जी, ये उनको यही दाग दिया हुआ है। उनकी यादगार में करवी संवत 1783 में जब उन्होंने शरीर छोड़ा उनकी यादगार में यह बना हुआ है। इस पर तारीख भी लिखी हुई है।
This is an integrated building of 5 domes, including one main dome in the center. 4 at the corners and 4 jharokhas in the center of the boundary are constructed. These jharokhas are decorated with floral patterns.
Painting of what? Not decorative, not geometric embellishment alone, but figures, scenes from mythology, scenes from daily life, and it is these which one can still see some traces of in the Havelis of Bhiwani.
Out of the 4 small corner domes, only 2 are painted, whereas one has the passage to go upstairs to reach the domes of this 2-story memorial. Wonderful scenes of Ram-Ravan battle are painted on the central dome of the large memorial. The figures are freely drawn, as no proper proportions can be noticed. The drawings of castle paintings are one-dimensional and lack perspective. These might have been drawn by a learner painter, not the master. The scene of returning of Lord Ram to Ayodhya is also painted in this circular painted saga. Lord Shiva riding Nandi, the bull, and many other deities, Nal Neel with Vanasena and other animals can be seen. In one scene, Parshurama shown meeting to Lord Ram as the Vishnu avatar. The painter has very amicably filled the remaining space with the painting of Lord Krishna holding Govardhan Parvat, although this has no relevance with the saga of Lord Ram. In continuation of these ceiling paintings, the descending straight wall panels of each door of octagonal dome has beautiful paintings of flowery plant in big vase with 2 peacocks opposite each other, which creates a pattern. Ladies on swing, sages sitting on lion skin with kamandal, worshipping and singing on Ektara has significantly created stories to take you in different domain. The upper portion of all the 8 open door has beautiful floral patterns. These patterns have been drawn as fresco and painted as sacco.
So this is a wonderful work we found in the memorial of Nandram, and we have a evidence of fresco and secco, both the paintings. As this work you can see, this is done on the wet plaster.
The upper corners have been decorated with various round forms like sun and floral pattern. The central part of the dome has been painted with the forms of Krishna and gopis holding hands together and dancing. The costumes of these forms are successfully painted in different colors and patterns, perhaps to show many different gopis. The faces of these figures are of side profile, looking in same direction, whereas the entire body is painted in front profile. The ceilings of these 2 small domes have also been painted inside with scenes of mythological stories and floral patterns. The scene showing grown-up Krishna stealing butter from pitcher carried by Gopi are rare and evocative. Another scene shows Krishna playing flute standing on a lotus flower being worshipped by the priests. Shukracharya, the one-eyed demon, Guru, painted pointing towards King Mahabali as he has forewarned him about the demands of Vaman avatar. Prominent random figures and scenes visible on the ceiling including peacocks, man riding a bullock cart, a pair of running deers, Lord Hanuman carrying Ram and Lakshman on his shoulders, Lord Ganesha with two Sevikas and a rat, Narsingha, Hayagriva and Vraha avatars of Lord Vishnu. Another scene has Goddess Chandi sitting on a lion, Hanumanji holding the tail of a lion at the back, and Bhairuji with Trishul trident in one hand and feeding the lion with the other hand is a rare scene. The extreme central part of the dome is painted with geometrical floral patterns.
When you come to mythology, I mean, just about everyone knows scenes from the Krishna Leela, from the Ramayana, from the Mahabharata. And karigars, craftsmen, came in from all over, some traveling craftsmen, some people who belonged to the local place and so on. And they were commissioned. I don't think the owners of the Haveli sat with them to say, do this here or do this here. They left it to themselves, do it. And they produced some really splendid design. On a ceiling inside a dome, for instance, the karigar must have looked up and said, this is circular, let me paint Rasa Leela here, Krishna dancing with the gopis. What could be more appropriate than this?
The fourth one has been blocked by its caretakers. The memorials of Seth Nandram and Kalavati are also decorated, but only with floral patterns. The freehand and geometrical patterns have been drawn and painted perfectly. In another dome, most of the paintings on ceiling have been destroyed. However, some scenes are still intact and can be viewed. One historical war scene depicts a king standing at the fort wall. Figures of British and Indian soldiers are painted in a caricature style. Soldiers are seen operating cannons and holding rifles. Another scene portrays priests sitting under a canopy, admiring gods sitting in Pushpak Viman, and Lord Krishna can be seen hugging Sudama, his childhood friend. This scene seems to have no connection with the war scene. A small fragment of painting of a palace showing female figures and intricate lattice work is also visible. No paintings have been given shading in colors to create three-dimensional effect in the figures. Flat colors have been applied. Central part of the dome is painted with geometrical floral pattern.
These portraits are being painted under these balconies because of there were two concerns. One, there is a pious concern also, so that these are the religious themes, nobody can touch or destroy that. And second thing is, on being on the second floor, nobody can vandalize these, nobody can deface these. This was the reason behind that they have painted all these portraits under this second floor balcony.
On the Haveli of Nandaram is this Katla. Very wonderful paintings can be witnessed. A chain of 17 significant paintings of king with bird, queen, Lord Brahma preaching a demon, Lord Bhairav with his dog, Lord Shiva, etc. are painted underneath of Chhajja. All these have religious and royal themes. Painting of Lord Krishna with Radha in regular posture is left niche ala, and Lord Shiva Parvati in right niche created in the wall of main door in another Haveli. The drawings of figures are amateur, tried to paint with realistic approach. The background scene is same in both the paintings and colors are significantly reciprocal. The painting of Lord Krishna partially destroyed but can be easily imagined as playing flute and Radha is listening to it. The niche is adorned with floral relief work at outer border of niche. This glorified entrance of Haveli is an unusual blend of mythological beliefs, hand skills and varied cultures. Lord Ganesha at the entrance is believed to be a good omen. Two female figures painted in mirror images dressed in traditional way. However, in this painting, very strangely, the female figures are shown sitting on English-styled chairs. Flowered vase on both the sides appears to be an inspiration from British royal lifestyle accessories. Paintings showing perhaps Parvati or maybe Sevika holding child Ganesha and Kartik are uncommon. Rajasthani influence is there as both the female figures are dressed in Rajasthani style costumes. Three religious paintings of Goddess Saraswati, Goddess Lakshmi and Goddess Ganga on crocodile has been painted. The contrast of floral patterns maintained by painting using primary and secondary against white background. This unusual world painted on walls stands different as no painting has erotic and sacrificial themes. All the paintings are based on mythological themes. This may be another reason that this town was called Choti Kashi. Ironically, these miraculous creations are neglected by their owners, who settle somewhere else, oblivious of the treasures they have forsaken. Although caretakers are appointed, but they are using these Havelis mercilessly and demolishing these to use the land for their own purposes. These monuments have been ruined. Moreover, government bodies too have turned their faces from these wonderful treasures of heritage of the state by silently witnessing and letting these demolitions happen and defacing these. On the other hand, no sensitivity is noticed from common people. Probably they don't understand these valuable creations.
So, however, in our country, in our land, the past is slowly beginning to disappear. And it's a sad sight. It's really the sad, depressing sight. I think it was the poet Mir Taqi Mir who said, "दीदनी है शिकस्तगी दिल की, क्या इमारत गमों ने ढाई है." When we see piles of rubbish everywhere, we see great buildings have been reduced to debris, there is a kind of a stab in the heart that you feel.
These wonderful creations are vanishing and still waiting for caring hands and a willing heart to restore them.